Hi, this is Wisconsin DIY Man. Welcome to the second video of still pictures for the garage foundation work. So it started getting pretty hot in July. I'm using the canopy here to try to keep cool. I just put a pick in the clay that I'm dealing with in these holes. Um, this is by my side door. It's just showing more holes. I tried to keep a keep a lid on the mess I was making. Another fan here to keep cool with. Um, Here's my temporary, no, no, this is just a hole, how it fills up. This is pretty common to get there every morning and having a hole all full of water again before you're starting to dig. This is the cat litter bucket and sump pump I use to get that thing empty each morning. Just pick up another storm going by as I'm digging. I'm glad I really wouldn't have wanted to do the French drain work with all this wet weather in June and early July anyway. So I kind of lucked out, and at the last week of July, when I started the actual French drains, it was one of the driest weeks of the summer, one of the only dry weeks actually. So here's a picture of all the 8 by 8 by 16 blocks that I stuck in one hole. So I pretty much made a 7-foot column because on top of these go end to end or end on end, and then on top of those is even more stuff. Just to show you the size here. Here's a typical setup I had in hot weather. I was already starting to buy materials for the drainage portion. Like this is the 2-inch irrigation pipe that I bought for my sump discharge. Shop vac to keep the holes empty, fan to keep cool, canopy, 3 wheelbarrows. I brought in paver base with my mower and trailer, and the sump discharge here for other holes. I would keep the pail in the next hole that I was going to work on. The sump pit and the sump pump, just so I didn't have to keep emptying the dumb thing out. Another shot of burying blocks in a hole there. A shot of filling one up after I got it all done. Just the mud was just there's July was a wet month until the beginning of July in 2019 was a really wet month in Wisconsin. I was constantly just working through mud. Uh, Here's a shot of a hole so you can see the water now is within about 6 inches of the surface. This is just after some rain and the whole place was wet. I finally got sick of walking through all this mud. I laid some plywood down like this to make it just palatable to work on these holes. Because I had to lay down a lot to get those blocks in there and get them all shimmed in right. Here's a picture of it being shimmed in. So I built the 2 little columns here after I raised it with a bottle jack, and then I started pounding in steel shims right there. So here's a picture of like you get the 1 column in there, and you put a bottle jack here, raise it up about 3/4 inch, and you put some steel there, and then let her down. That's how you go. That's how you do it. I just had a sheet of 1/4 inch plate steel cut up at a local welder's place. A close-up picture here. I'd put a little steel thing there so I wouldn't crack my slab when I jacked. Um, Jack it up, put the shims, and let her down. And then you put a column here. A picture of the holes filled in. I used paver base in close to the garage, and then some extra dirt would go here because when I got to the drainage portion, the excavator was going to be digging all this stuff out anyway, so I figured why waste paver base doing that. And there you go. That's the end of the pictures. Thanks for looking.